Page 306, this is a lesson on Lydian Mode. Lydian Mode, we've got different kinds of modes and all that. Remember from previous, the C major is Ionian Mode, and the minor is the Aeolian Mode. We'll get to those later, but now this is Lydian Mode. Well, I kind of do it different than the book does, but we'll do it what the book is doing. The idea here is we're simply moving the pattern of whole steps and half steps a little bit. We're changing it. I do it this way. I start with C major because it's all the white keys, and I know Lydian is based on the fourth step of the major scale, any major scale. So in C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, it would be here. And that would give me the F Lydian is what they would call it, F because of F's bottom. But the whole step and half step pattern is this. Whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half. And if you use that pattern starting on any key, white or black, you get a Lydian mode of whatever key you started on. But I do it by basing it's the fourth step of a major scale, because I don't really memorize all the modes, the names. I just know what step of the scale they start on from C major, and from there I can figure out the whole steps and half steps. Generally, Lydian mode is like a major scale, except the fourth step is raised to you don't have here. That would be a major scale, an F major, but in F Lydian, the fourth step is raised one, a half step up. That's all. That's the difference. On wherever you are, a Lydian mode, the fourth step is raised a half step. Another way of doing it, you take a major scale, and if you take the fourth step up a half step, then you have a Lydian mode. So C Lydian is that. C major is that. C Lydian is that. Another way of looking at it. They want you to transpose C Lydian. I just did that. G Lydian would be starting on G. I'd go G major. I'm taking the fourth step, F a half step. That's here. So now I have an F sharp and C sharp bow. Here. That would be G Lydian. And then B flat Lydian. We'll start with a B flat major scale. And again, you're using tetrachords. I didn't explain all that, but you generally just. The idea is we have a B flat and an E flat in it, but I'm going to raise the fourth step up a half step, so it's here. So now it's just B flats. Too early in the morning for me. It's okay. And then E flat Lydian. E flat major has 3 flats here. A B flat, E. So these notes, and I take the fourth step up a half step. And that's Lydian, E flat Lydian. Because then it has the same whole step, half step pattern as this. Basically all it is. Now, of course, each note in this, like any scale, is numbered 1 through 7. And you can build chords on any of them. Let's go back to F Lydian here, the white keys. I did chords here. As far as the major and minor, I don't memorize majors and minors on these. I can figure them out in my head because I can picture a keyboard. And I simply use F Lydian, white keys, and I can figure them out. I know this is the first step. That's major, major, minor. That's diminished because it's got a minor third and a minor third, diminished. Major, minor, minor, major. And that's how I can do it in my head. I can do the calculation because I can picture that keyboard and go through it mentally. So I wouldn't bother memorizing that, but you can memorize them if you want to. But if you knock yourself out, I don't care. As far as playing the chords in these, they want to transpose it to C Lydian. Well, C major's here. And if I do raise the fourth step up here, those are the notes I got to use. So I'm just going to play triads based on all those notes. So we got here. There, that's all it is. What else? B flat Lydian. Okay, B flat is here. I'm going to raise the fourth step up here, and I'm going to use these notes, and I'm going to play triads on each of these notes. It's like a B flat scale except E natural, so it's here. E natural now. B flat. And that would be the chords in Lydian mode. You just slowly work them out. Just remember, take the major scale and raise the fourth step up a half step. And those are the notes you're going to use. If you have any questions about it, ask your teacher, because I don't like this junk. So let's go on. The bottom, there's a reading thing in Lydian mode. And reading shouldn't be a problem for you. The difference is the harmony is going to sound different. So I'll just go through the process here right quick. It's 2 lines long, treble, bass, clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. You think it's in the key of G major or E minor? Well, not anymore, because when it's like this, with 1 sharp in it, your C ends on 1 chord with 1 sharp in it. That makes it Lydian mode, because C major, raise the 4th step, that's C Lydian mode. And so that's sort of what it is. As I don't do videos on the modes. I just do the major and minor. So I suggest you go ahead and just do the major and minor scales and arpeggios, whatever, on these. I wouldn't bother trying to do scales on Lydian modes. The fingering will get a little bit different and whatnot. So anyway, 3/4 time. Right hand here. We have F sharps in the key signature. Yeah, I love that. Okay, that's really the right hand. And the left hand's got here to here. Now, when this goes back and forth like this, I'm going to use 4th finger here. So it's here, and then 4th. Here, and 4, 2, 1. So really, it's just this position. I'm just raising the thumb up. That's all I'm doing. Use 5, 3, 1 on all of them if you'd like, but I prefer this. I think the book is suggesting this, and I would do it anyway. A lot of beginners wouldn't. They'd keep you in this 5-finger position all the time and have you do that, which is actually a little more difficult. However, put the hands together with that. Get the idea? Sort of a hybrid between C major and G major. Say, what's going on? It's Lydian mode. Now, once I have that, no hesitations. I lift up for the phrases. Lift up, lift up. Just a little lift. The left hand, you just play it. That's all. Dynamics is moderately loud. The right hand, whatever you think, sort of loud. Keep these soft. Speed is moderato. That might be you're walking someplace and you know where you're going, but you're not in a hurry to get there. You're just walking there. Okay. Now they've added pedal. You don't need pedal on it. I like it without, but they're doing it. It's going to be overlapping pedal. If you want to hear the phrasing, you got to lift the pedal up at the end of the phrase. But that can cause a problem here because of what the left hand is doing. So we need to examine that. Overlapping pedal, and I'm going to pedal it like it's shown here at first. Change the pedal after play the notes. And I changed the pedal every time I changed the harmony, which was the chords. Every time the chord changed, I changed the pedal. Your melody gets blurred up. And that's my problem with it. I don't like a blurry melody unless that's the mood. A misty, foggy thing might be all blurry. Otherwise, I prefer a clean melody. Now, for that reason, I'm going to change the pedaling in such a way that all I'm doing is connecting the left hand. In other words, I'm not pedaling the half notes and the left hand. That way I'm connecting the left hand. But I don't mess up the... don't mess up the melody. I get the best of both worlds. But pedaling is a little more complicated, but in my opinion, you need to try and pedal as accurately as you can, and that requires slightly more complicated pedaling. A lot of method books, when they first introduce pedaling, they keep the pedaling simple, like this book is doing. And in the process, you get used to hearing junk. I don't want you to get used to hearing. I want you to listen very critically. And it's better to leave the pedal out. You don't need it at all. It's fine. Now, I am pedaling the last measure, even though I'm not changing chords anymore. And that's because it's a longer held note. And I want to go ahead and give it the overtones. Because these others, the other dotted half note at like the end of the first line, I pedaled that whole measure. Give it overtones. And that's so with the last two measures. Go ahead and pedal the last one to give it the color. Otherwise, it's color. And the last measure is a little dry. That's a very subtle difference. But again, I encourage you to listen for the subtleties. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes in the rhythm. I'm going to include the pedal, but I'm going to pedal it like I suggested. Just to connect the notes in the left hand is all I'm doing. Yeah. I'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, go.